Chosen one, pause right here. Something sacred is happening even as you breathe. You didn't arrive at this moment by scrolling or by chance. You were led. Heaven has been orchestrating this encounter long before you woke up today. Tonight carries weight. It carries revelation. You've felt it in your spirit lately, a divine stirring that won't let you rest. It's not restlessness, it's recognition. Your soul knows that something is shifting in the unseen realm. Something meant specifically for you. You've been asking heaven to speak. And tonight, heaven answers. The silence that stretched for too long wasn't abandonment. It was preparation. God hides his greatest revelations inside quiet seasons, so that when he finally speaks, your heart is ready to hear. Every delay was divine training. Every disappointment was holy redirection. You wondered why certain doors refused to open, why some people left without warning, why plans crumbled just when they seemed secure. But heaven says, you were being positioned. You were not being punished. You were being prepared for what eyes haven't yet seen. There's a holy tension in the air right now. The night feels different because the Spirit is near. He's standing beside you, waiting for your heart to be still enough to receive the words that will rewrite your direction. The path that felt confusing will make sense soon. The prayers that seemed ignored will echo with answers. The strength you thought was gone will return, multiplied. Heaven has remembered you. And right in the middle of this moment, the word speaks through time and thunder. As Jesus himself declared in the Gospel of John, chapter 16, verse 13, "But when he, the Spirit of truth, comes, he will guide you into all truth. He will not speak on his own. He will speak only what he hears, and he will tell you what is yet to come." This is the message heaven wants you to hold tonight. You will not miss your direction again. The Spirit of truth is stepping in to guide you not through chaos, but through clarity. The confusion that clouded your steps is being replaced with divine precision. Chosen one, the revelation you've been praying for is already on its way. You don't have to chase it. You only have to stay ready. Stay aligned. Stay open. God is not speaking to everyone tonight. He's speaking to you. You've been through storms that should have broken you, yet here you stand, still believing. That is proof of your calling. Ordinary people quit when the weight becomes heavy. Chosen ones keep walking because destiny keeps whispering. There's more. Heaven has seen your tears and your quiet endurance. The times you chose faith over fear, surrender over control, those were not unnoticed. They were recorded in the archives of eternity. And now, the reward is revelation. This very hour, the Spirit begins to reveal what was hidden. The voice you thought was silent will become undeniable. The sense of confusion that clouded your nights will dissolve into peace. You are entering the hour of understanding, the moment when everything aligns, and you realize it was all worth it. Listen, tonight is not about striving. It's about surrender. You don't have to force open what heaven is unlocking for you. The key is readiness. The door will open not by effort, but by obedience. So as you sit in this moment, let peace settle over you. The waiting is ending. The word is coming alive. Heaven has drawn near, and the same Spirit that guided prophets, kings, and apostles now rests upon you. Chosen one, this is your confirmation. What you have been asking for clarity about, expect an answer. What you have been holding in faith, expect fulfillment. The Spirit of truth will speak, and when he does, you will know it's him. There will be no confusion, no doubt, no hesitation, only peace. So before you close this message, take one small act of faith. Share this with someone who needs the same reassurance. Like, subscribe, and let this message travel where it's meant to go, because obedience spreads light. And to seal this moment of revelation, comment below 777. You may not feel worthy of what's coming, but heaven says otherwise. Every battle you've survived has proven your capacity to carry the weight of destiny. You were refined in silence, and that refinement made you unstoppable for what's about to unfold. The Spirit is whispering even now. Stay ready. Do not return to old fears or familiar patterns. Tonight marks a spiritual threshold. Cross it with faith, not doubt. When you wake tomorrow, you will sense the shift has begun. Subtle but undeniable. This revelation will not fade at sunrise. It will expand. The truth released tonight will echo through your decisions, your relationships, and your purpose. The same voice that spoke worlds into being is now guiding your next step forward. Chosen one. Heaven celebrates your endurance. The waiting season has ended. The unveiling has begun. What once felt delayed now becomes divine timing revealed. You are stepping into alignment with heaven's rhythm, and every closed door will make sense. The night deepens, and silence stretches across the earth like a veil. The world around you is asleep, yet something holy is awake within you. You feel it, the gentle stirring of heaven in the quiet, a pulse of something divine pressing near. It's not imagination. It's not coincidence. It's the whisper of eternity calling you by name. Chosen one. In the stillness, heaven speaks in ways that human language cannot describe. When the noise of life fades, the voice of God grows clear. And tonight, he leans closer, not with thunder or lightning, but with stillness that carries the weight of revelation. You have been wondering why God chose to speak through silence rather than through signs. But understand this, the silence was never empty. It was filled with messages waiting for your spirit to tune in. Heaven speaks in frequencies the world cannot hear. Those who rush miss it. Those who rest receive it. The Spirit has been hovering around your thoughts lately, shifting your focus from what's visible to what's eternal. It's why the things you used to chase no longer satisfy you. It's why the familiar feels foreign. Heaven is pulling your attention away from distractions so you can hear the whispers that guide destinies. Do not fear the quiet moments. They are sacred classrooms where your spirit learns divine language. When everything around you goes still, it is often because heaven is writing new instructions upon the walls of your heart. The silence you've resented may actually be the space where your next season begins. You remember the times you cried out for answers and heard nothing in return. Yet, in hindsight, you see that while heaven seemed silent, things were aligning behind the scenes. What looked like absence was actually orchestration. The delay was mercy disguised as distance. The stillness tonight is different. It carries peace, not confusion. It carries expectancy, not fear. Heaven is preparing you to receive what your heart has been too restless to hold before. Sometimes, God quiets your world because your miracle is approaching, and the noise would only distract you from recognizing it. There is a verse that captures this moment perfectly, one that has echoed through ages to those who listen in silence. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Elijah in the first book of Kings, Chapter 19, verse 12. And after the earthquake came a fire, but the Lord was not in the fire. And after the fire came a gentle whisper. That whisper, soft, almost unnoticeable, is the same sound brushing across your heart right now. It doesn't come to scare you, but to steady you. God does not always reveal himself through chaos. Often, he reveals himself through calm. The whisper is where power hides in humility. You are learning to recognize that voice, not as a sound from outside, but as a movement within. The same spirit that hovered over the waters in creation now hovers over your soul, ready to bring order out of your inner storm. The whisper is not faint because it is weak, it is quiet because it is holy. Heaven's communication with you tonight is not about information, it's about transformation. The words God is speaking will not just inform your mind, they will recalibrate your spirit. This is not about what you know, but about who you are becoming. You are being taught to trust the invisible, to find confidence in what cannot be explained. When you quiet your heart long enough, the whisper becomes unmistakable. It tells you to move when you feel frozen. It tells you to wait when you feel impatient. It tells you to forgive when anger feels easier. It tells you to believe when reason runs out. Chosen one, the gentle whisper tonight is not random, it is your instruction. It is heaven confirming that you are still on the right path, even when you feel like you've wandered. Heaven says, you are exactly where you need to be. The journey has never been off course. It's been divinely guided from the start. Do not rush ahead. Do not run backward. Simply stand where you are and listen. The ground beneath your feet has been prepared for revelation. The quietness surrounding you is not emptiness, it is expectancy. Every breath you take right now is pulling you deeper into alignment with heaven's rhythm. There is a peace that comes when you realize you no longer need to force the next step. You no longer need to demand answers. You simply wait and trust that the same God who whispered creation into being is whispering your next beginning into existence. Let this truth settle into you tonight. You are not lost. You are being led by a voice that never shouts, only invites. The gentle whisper is proof that heaven is near. The night holds its breath around you. You sense it, the still, quiet presence of God wrapping you in assurance. You don't need a sign. The whisper is enough. It says, peace, be still, I am here. And in that silence, everything changes. You have carried so much for so long. Haven't you? The kind of weight that no one sees. The quiet exhaustion of being strong. The unseen burden of waiting for answers that never seem to arrive. Yet here you are, still standing, still believing, still holding on to hope when everything around you told you to let go. Chosen one. Heaven saw every tear you wiped away before anyone noticed. The sleepless nights, the whispered prayers, the questions you never dared to say out loud, they were all heard. Every moment of breaking was recorded by the one who never forgets the cries of his chosen. You were not abandoned. You were being built. The pressure you felt was never meant to destroy you. It was meant to reveal you. You were not buried by your circumstances. You were planted in them. And now, at last, the soil begins to break. The waiting season is giving birth to the purpose you once doubted you could carry. You see, God never wastes pain. Every delay has been a forge for your character. Every disappointment has sharpened your discernment. What once made you question your worth is now becoming proof of your calling. It's easy to wonder why the road has been so long, why promises seem to fade into silence. But the truth is this: the longer the preparation, the greater the purpose. You were never called to live an ordinary life. You were called to live a refined one. And refinement takes time. The Spirit of God wants you to understand something sacred tonight. The weight you've carried was not punishment, it was prophecy. The ache was evidence that you were carrying something divine, something not yet ready for the world to see. Heaven trusted you with the waiting because heaven knew you wouldn't quit. The Word of God declares in the book of Romans, chapter 8, verse 18, "I consider that our present sufferings are not worth comparing with the glory that will be revealed in us." That verse isn't just ancient truth, it's a mirror reflecting your present season. The struggle you've endured will never compare to the magnitude of the glory about to break through you. Every scar will shine like a seal of divine endurance. Every tear will transform into a testimony. There were times you questioned if you were strong enough to carry what God placed within you. But strength was never the requirement, surrender was. God never asked you to be perfect. He asked you to stay. To keep believing when logic said it was over. To hold faith when hope felt foolish. And because you stayed, heaven is about to release what you've been waiting for. Chosen one. The breaking you endured was never the end, it was the beginning. You were being reshaped in fire so that what emerges would no longer be fragile. Heaven did not intend to harm you. Heaven intended to harden your faith until no storm could break it again. Now, the same hands that allowed the crushing are stretching toward you with comfort. The weight you once carried will soon lift. Replaced by the ease of divine favor, you will walk lighter, speak bolder, and see clearer. You will finally understand that the heaviness was never a curse. It was a crown being formed. Heaven is saying tonight, do not regret what broke you. It brought you here. It revealed me. Look back at everything you've survived and recognize the pattern. Every loss became instruction. Every betrayal became redirection. Every waiting season birthed wisdom. You are no longer who you were when the journey began. You are stronger, wiser, deeper. You've become the version of yourself that heaven always saw. So when fear whispers that nothing has changed, remind yourself that transformation is often invisible before it becomes undeniable. The soil still looks the same before the seed breaks through, but breaking through is inevitable. Chosen one. Your breakthrough is not coming, it has already begun. The pressure you feel now is not a sign of delay, but the final push before delivery. The waiting wasn't wasted time, it was womb time. And the promise is now ready to be born. Before this section ends, do one small act of faith. Type, "I'm still here," in the comments below. Those 3 words are not casual, they're prophetic. They tell heaven you haven't quit. They tell darkness you still believe. They tell your future, I'm ready for what's next. When you type, "I'm still here," you're not just leaving a comment, you're making a declaration to heaven and to yourself. You are testifying that no storm was strong enough to erase your faith. No darkness deep enough to silence your purpose. Those 3 words are heaven's proof that you endured. They echo through the unseen realm, marking you as one who refused to surrender even when silence felt unbearable. Heaven moves when faith speaks, and tonight, those words carry power. So speak them boldly. I'm still here. You survived the breaking, and now you will witness the becoming. There comes a moment in every chosen journey when the weight of waiting begins to make sense. It doesn't arrive with trumpet blasts or flashes of light. It arrives quietly, like dawn slipping over the horizon. You begin to understand that everything you lost was clearing the path for everything heaven had prepared. The pain that once seemed unbearable now feels purposeful. The silence that haunted you becomes sacred. You start to see that the wilderness was never punishment, it was the training ground for your promise. In the wilderness, God stripped away the noise of opinion and the clutter of distraction. He taught you to recognize His presence without proof, His direction without explanation. It was there that your faith grew roots deep enough to survive any storm. You remember those seasons when you begged heaven for shortcuts. You wanted quick answers, fast signs, immediate clarity. But if God had given you what you asked for then, it would have broken you. What you saw as delay was divine mercy, protecting your promise. You weren't being denied, you were being developed. Now the picture begins to sharpen. The moments that once felt meaningless start connecting like pieces of a mosaic. The betrayal that shattered your trust revealed who was truly loyal. The disappointment that crushed your confidence taught you how to lean on something unshakable. You didn't realize it then, but every loss was a teacher. Every setback, a seed. There's a rhythm to God's timing that the impatient heart rarely understands. Heaven works in seasons, not seconds. You were not forgotten, you were hidden. There's a difference. To be forgotten means you were abandoned, but to be hidden means you were being prepared for unveiling. God hides what He values most. You've seen how diamonds are formed: pressure, darkness, and time. That's what God has been doing with you. The pressure you felt was shaping, the darkness was refining, the time was necessary. When light finally hits, you will shine in ways the world cannot ignore. You might still wonder why certain prayers seem unanswered, why certain promises still hang in waiting. But remember this: God's silence is often the loudest sign that He is working on details you can't yet comprehend. Sometimes He waits until you're mature enough to carry the blessing without losing yourself in it. The word of the Lord reminds us through the writings of David in the Psalms. Chapter 27, verse 14. Wait for the Lord, be strong, and take heart, and wait for the Lord. This verse isn't a command to sit in stillness without purpose. It's an invitation to trust while growing. Waiting on God doesn't mean inaction. It means preparation. It means using this time to sharpen what will soon be needed. While you're waiting, heaven is arranging. Chosen one. The very space between promise and fulfillment is sacred ground. It's where faith matures, where identity strengthens, where clarity is born. The waiting has not been wasted, it's been holy. You've been learning how to move with heaven's rhythm, how to trust the unseen even when your feelings rebel. You are being refined into a vessel that can hold revelation without breaking under its weight. There is a grace that comes only from enduring what you cannot explain. That grace now rests upon you like oil, evidence that you've passed through fire and still carry light. Do not despise small beginnings, or slow progress, or quiet days. They are not delays, they are divine details. Heaven builds steadily because it builds eternally. And what is built in patience cannot be destroyed by pressure. As you look back, notice how even your detours brought you closer to destiny. What you thought was a step backward was actually alignment disguised as interruption. Heaven rerouted you to prevent collapse later. Every no you received was protection from something that looked good but wasn't God. And now, you are standing on the edge of understanding. You don't have all the answers, but you finally have peace, and peace is the sign that the next door is near. The same silence that once scared you now feels like safety. The waiting that once broke you now feels like wisdom. Chosen one. Heaven whispers, stay steady. Not everything will reveal itself at once. Some revelations unfold slowly, layer by layer, until you see the fullness of what heaven was writing in your story. But know this, you are not behind. You are right on time. Your spirit knows this truth, even when your mind resists it. Something inside you exhales tonight, finally believing that maybe, just maybe, everything did happen for a reason. And it did. Every unanswered prayer, every quiet night, every tear shed in hidden faith, they were not wasted. They were investments in what's coming, and what's coming will not be small. It will carry the weight of divine timing, the fragrance of fulfillment, and the glory of God's perfect order. You will look back soon and realize this was the moment heaven was building toward all along. There is a rhythm to heaven's timing, and you're standing right in the middle of it. The night that once felt endless has started to soften into dawn. Something inside you feels lighter, freer, as if a chain has quietly fallen away. The waiting is no longer heavy. It has turned into wisdom. And with that wisdom, heaven begins to whisper new instructions to your heart. Chosen one. This is the moment when the fog begins to lift, and you start to see why everything had to happen the way it did. What once felt like breaking was really planting. Every heartbreak dug deeper soil in you, making room for roots that could hold what's about to bloom. The divine pattern has always been this: pain first, then purpose. Silence first, then song. You can feel it, can't you? The gentle stirring of change in the air. The same spirit that once comforted you in your tears is now calling you toward motion. It's not a loud push, it's a soft pull. An inner knowing that says, now it begins. You are stepping into the chapter where what you carried in private begins to bear fruit in public. But even now, heaven reminds you this next season is not meant to be walked alone. Every chosen one walks with others who carry light too. That's how the kingdom moves, not through a single voice, but through many hearts beating in rhythm with heaven. You've received, you've grown, you've endured, and now you are invited to help keep this light flowing to others who are still in the darkness you once knew. Not out of duty, not out of pressure, but out of gratitude. Gratitude is the highest form of worship, because it turns what you've received into something that blesses others. The Word of God declares in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 14, "You are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden." That is who you are. You are light. You are meant to shine not only in words, but in action, in kindness, in generosity that flows naturally from a heart awakened by love. You see, every message that reaches a weary soul, every whispered reminder that someone is chosen, costs something in this world: time, effort, breath, and the means to keep that light burning. Think of it like oil for a lamp. The flame will always belong to heaven, but the oil comes from the hearts of those who believe in what that light is doing. If these words have touched you, if you've felt God's presence through them, consider being part of keeping the flame alive when you like, share, or subscribe. You're not just supporting a channel, you're helping the light travel further. Like a single candle lighting 1,000 others in the night. And if you feel led, only if your heart whispers yes, you may pour a little oil into this flame through a voluntary donation. Think of it not as giving money, but as fueling a lighthouse that guides lost souls through dark waters. Your kindness becomes the oil that keeps the beacon bright. That oil could be a prayer whispered for this mission, a small act of generosity, a seed that helps this stream of light reach others across the world. It's not a requirement. It's not a trade. It's worship through giving free, willing, sacred. Every seed sown in love multiplies. Every drop of oil poured into the flame makes it brighter. Every act of support, no matter how small, tells heaven, I believe in what you are doing here. You are never giving to a person, you are giving into purpose. You're helping light travel further, so someone else's midnight can turn into morning. So, let it be gentle. Let it be sincere. If your spirit feels a tug to give, listen to it. If it doesn't, let peace remain. The call is never to obligation, but to overflow. Heaven never forces generosity, it inspires it. Because real giving doesn't deplete it, multiplies joy, peace, and divine favor in return. In a world that runs on noise, your support, your like, your share, your quiet seed becomes a whisper of light that keeps heaven's message alive. It helps turn algorithms into altars, places where people encounter hope again. When you subscribe, you're not following a page. You're joining a movement of faith that refuses to let the world forget that hope still speaks. Chosen one, take a deep breath. Feel the peace that comes when you realize heaven is not demanding, it's inviting. It's inviting you to be part of something that outlives this moment. Every word you share, every small seed of support you plant, becomes part of the story. Heaven is still writing through you. You've been carried by the light long enough. Now, you get to carry it forward. That is what partnership with heaven looks like, not pressure, but purpose. And as this section closes, remember this simple truth. The light you sustain in others will never leave you in darkness. When you help light a candle for someone else, heaven makes sure your own flame burns brighter too. There are moments when your spirit senses something long before your mind can name it. You feel it now, the quiet hum of destiny approaching. It's not loud, but it's sure. Heaven is aligning unseen things around you, arranging divine intersections and unlocking doors you didn't even know existed. What you thought was the end of the road was only a hidden turn toward revelation. The waiting has stretched you, but it has also strengthened you. The pain you endured has built endurance in your soul. You've grown in silence. You've learned to hear God not through thunder, but through the still rhythm of faith. Every unanswered prayer became a conversation between your tears and His timing. And now, the answer begins to move toward you. Slow but unstoppable. Chosen one. You've carried your faith quietly, faithfully, even when no one saw it. You prayed when others laughed. You hoped when logic said it was over. You stood when fear screamed at you to sit down. That kind of faith is not forgotten, it's recorded. Heaven rewards endurance. And tonight, the divine clock begins to turn in your favor. The Spirit wants to remind you that the delay was never denial. It was divine strategy. You were being shielded from things that would have destroyed what you were still learning to carry. The waiting wasn't wasted, it was the classroom of destiny. God doesn't rush His masterpieces. The Apostle reminds us in his letter to the Galatians, chapter 6, verse 9, "Let us not become weary in doing good, For at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. You are standing at the edge of that proper time. What once felt barren is about to bloom. The seeds you planted in faith, your prayers, your forgiveness, your quiet obedience are breaking the soil even now. The roots are deep, and the harvest is certain. Don't measure your progress by what you can see. Measure it by what you feel stirring inside. Destiny doesn't shout, it grows. And growth always begins underground. That's where you've been hidden, forming, strengthening. Heaven was growing you in private, so the weight of public blessing wouldn't crush you later. Every struggle you faced has become a spiritual muscle. Every battle trained you for this next level of clarity. You no longer react as you used to. Your discernment has matured. You can sense when something is divine or deceptive. You can recognize the difference between distractions and destiny. That is growth that cannot be measured by time. It's measured by transformation. And now heaven says, step forward. The time for hesitation is over. The promise hasn't changed, but you have. You're no longer the same version of yourself that started the journey. You've been refined into someone who can handle the weight of what's coming. This moment is not random, it's prophetic. You are standing under an open heaven. The instructions you've been waiting for will begin to arrive in fragments, dreams, inner nudges, quiet confirmations. Pay attention. Heaven doesn't shout, it sends signals. Chosen one. If you've been feeling the spiritual stirring, that trembling in your heart that says something's about to happen, trust it. That's heaven's countdown. The spiritual atmosphere around you is alive with preparation. The people you need are being drawn. The opportunities are being aligned. Soon, what was hidden will become visible, and what was promised will take form, not because of striving, but because heaven said, now. So tonight, pause for a moment. Let gratitude fill you. Feel the nearness of God in the quiet air around you. You've survived what others didn't understand, and you're still here, proof that purpose always outlasts pain. And, as a prophetic act of alignment, type the number 444 inches, the comments below. It's not superstition. It's a signal, a symbol that your spirit recognizes divine order and heavenly completion. 4 is the number of foundations, of stability, of creation made whole. By writing it, you're declaring, I am established. I am steady. I am ready for what heaven has prepared. This isn't about chance, it's about confirmation. The moment you type it, let peace wash over you. Know that heaven hears, heaven sees, and heaven moves in perfect rhythm with your faith. The whisper of God tonight is simple but certain. You didn't wait in vain. When you type 444, you are not just pressing numbers, you are placing a spiritual marker in time. It is your way of saying to heaven, I recognize the order being established around me. Each digit is like a stone laid at the foundation of your next chapter. That number becomes your agreement with divine structure. It says, I am done wandering. I am ready to build. The same God who ordered creation now orders your steps. Every area that once felt unstable begins to settle under divine design. So, write it boldly, 444. Let it stand as your declaration that what heaven has spoken will stand firm. Your season of scattering ends here, and a new rhythm of stability begins to rise within you, unshakable, divine, complete. It happens quietly, almost without notice. One day you wake up and realize that clarity has begun to replace confusion. The questions that once haunted you no longer sting. You still don't have every answer, but you finally have peace, and peace is a form of understanding that doesn't need explanation. Heaven has removed the veil from your eyes, and for the first time in a long while, you can see clearly. Clarity is a sacred gift. It doesn't come in the rush of emotion, it comes in the calm after surrender. God waited until your heart was still enough to receive it. When you finally stopped fighting for control, the truth had room to enter, and what was blurry for years begins to sharpen into purpose. You start to recognize that some doors closed not to punish you, but to protect you. The people who left didn't fail you, they freed you. The plans that fell apart were never aligned with your divine assignment. You were not losing, you were being redirected. Heaven always removes what cannot carry you where you are called to go. There's a holy peace in realizing that God's no was just another form of His mercy. You can look back now and thank Him for the things that didn't work out. Because if they had, they would have chained you to a smaller life than the one you were made for. Sometimes clarity doesn't arrive as an answer, it arrives as release. Chosen one, your spiritual vision is adjusting. You no longer see your circumstances as chaos, you see them as choreography. Each step, even the painful ones, were ordered with precision. Every wrong turn taught you how to recognize the right one. Every heartbreak taught you how to discern real love from imitation. The Spirit is removing the fog of confusion that once clouded your sight. The lies the enemy whispered in your weakest moments are losing their grip. Truth is taking their place, and truth brings peace. You're beginning to see yourself as heaven has always seen you: strong, chosen, equipped, and free, as was spoken in the sacred texts of old. From the book of Proverbs, chapter 20, verse 12. Ears that hear and eyes that see, the Lord has made them both. Heaven has given you spiritual eyes to see beyond the surface. What others mistake for coincidence, you recognize as divine coordination. What once looked like loss now looks like liberation. You understand that heaven doesn't just restore, it reveals. This is the unveiling season, where truth no longer hides behind circumstances. You begin to see your own reflection differently. The shame that once blurred your identity falls away. You are no longer defined by what you went through, you are defined by what you became through it. It's as if the mirror has changed. Where you once saw failure, you now see resilience. Where you saw weakness, you see wisdom. The same reflection that used to remind you of what you lost now reminds you of how far you've come. The veil has lifted. Chosen one. This clarity doesn't mean every detail of life will be perfect. It means you'll finally see through the imperfection. You'll begin to recognize the hand of God, even in the smallest moments. A conversation that feels guided, a door that opens unexpectedly, a peace that arrives without reason. These are all signs of divine presence woven quietly into your everyday. The fog is lifting from your thoughts too. The mental noise that once made it hard to pray or focus is fading. In its place comes simplicity, the awareness that you don't have to understand everything to trust the one who does. That realization alone brings more freedom than answers ever could. Every time you choose peace over panic, you strengthen the vision heaven gave you. Every time you choose trust over control, the path ahead grows clearer. That's the secret of revelation. It doesn't come to the restless, it comes to the surrendered. So, breathe deeply. The same God who parted seas and calmed storms is now clearing the fog in your own life. You don't need to chase clarity anymore, it's chasing you. Every time you pause in faith, it catches up. There's a reason heaven waited until now to reveal these things. You were not ready to see before. Your heart was still healing. But now, healed eyes can see further. They can recognize beauty even in brokenness. You've learned to read the language of grace written in the cracks of your own story. As you walk forward, let this clarity guide you like a lantern in the dark. It won't show the whole road at once, but it will reveal enough to keep walking. And that's all faith ever needs, enough light for the next step. The veil has lifted, and what was hidden in shadow now stands in truth. You don't just see the path ahead, you see the purpose in every step that led you here. It begins as a quiet realization, the moment you finally understand that the person staring back at you is not who you used to be. You've been transformed, not by sudden miracles, but by a series of small resurrections that took place inside your soul. Every time life broke you, something divine rebuilt you stronger. Every time you thought it was over, grace whispered, "Rise again." You stand now before the mirror of revelation, and for the first time, you recognize yourself as heaven does. The world once told you that you were too different, too much, too sensitive, too bold, but those were the very qualities God hid inside you to fulfill a specific purpose. You were never meant to blend in. You were meant to shine in a way that unsettles darkness. You've spent so long questioning your worth, measuring your reflection by the opinions of people who couldn't see your calling. But heaven has always seen beyond what others dismissed. The same scars that made you doubt yourself are now the proof of your divine strength. You are no longer defined by pain. You are defined by perseverance. There's a beauty to becoming who you were always meant to be. It doesn't happen in one glorious moment, it unfolds quietly through each decision to keep going. Every time you chose faith instead of bitterness, you grew. Every time you forgave, you stepped closer to freedom. Every time you refused to let darkness win, heaven applauded. The mirror doesn't lie. But for years it reflected a distorted image, a version of you filtered through fear and rejection. But now the distortion has lifted. The eyes looking back are steady. The shoulders that once slumped in defeat now carry purpose. You've become the evidence that grace is real. According to what is revealed in the book of Ephesians, chapter 2, verse 10, "For we are God's masterpiece, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which God prepared in advance for us to do." That verse isn't a promise waiting for tomorrow, it's a confirmation of who you are right now. You are not unfinished, you are unfolding. Every part of your journey, even the messy ones, has been brushstrokes in the divine artwork of your life. Heaven never painted with mistakes, only with meaning. Chosen one, the mirror of your soul has changed because you've stopped looking for validation in temporary reflections. The only opinion that matters now comes from the one who created you. You are his masterpiece, divinely designed, intentionally refined. Nothing about you is accidental. Even the parts you tried to hide hold purpose in his plan. When you look into that inner mirror now, you see more than a survivor, you see a carrier of light. You see someone who endured the breaking yet still radiates love. That light is not arrogance, it's awareness. It's the quiet knowing that the Spirit of God lives within you, and no darkness can undo what heaven has sealed. This realization shifts everything. The insecurities that once controlled your thoughts begin to dissolve. The comparisons that used to drain your confidence lose their grip. You no longer chase approval, you carry peace. The need to prove yourself fades because truth no longer needs defending. You are enough. Not because you've earned it, but because grace declared it. The reflection you see now carries both softness and strength. You've learned that humility doesn't mean shrinking, it means standing tall while knowing your power comes from God. Confidence doesn't come from pride, it comes from presence. You've finally learned how to dwell in that sacred space between power and peace. Your identity no longer wavers with circumstance. Whether people recognize your worth or not, you remain grounded. Whether doors open quickly or slowly, you remain faithful. That's what transformation looks like. It's not loud, it's consistent. It's the quiet strength that says, even if no one applauds, I'll still rise. Chosen one. The prophetic mirror before you tonight isn't made of glass, it's made of grace. It reflects not what you've done, but what heaven sees when it looks at you. You are radiant, refined, and ready. You are walking proof that nothing surrendered to God ever returns empty. And this time, when you walk away from the mirror, you don't look back with doubt. You walk forward with certainty, because the reflection isn't just your image, it's your identity. And your identity is rooted in eternity. The world may still try to remind you of who you used to be, but the heavens already celebrate who you've become. You are not defined by your past, you are the prophecy. Your pain couldn't stop. You are the living evidence that grace still writes new stories from broken beginnings. You are no longer walking as the one who was wounded, you are walking as the one who was healed. Every scar now glows like a seal of victory, reminding heaven and earth that what was meant to break you became your becoming. Walk boldly in that truth. Lift your head, not in pride, but in remembrance. Grace chose you, refined you, and revealed you. It always happens before the dawn, the battle before the breakthrough. When everything in you feels tired, when you question if you've misunderstood the promise, when the road seems darker right before it ends, that's when heaven leans closest. The tension you feel now is not the end, it's the turning point. The pressure is proof that new light is about to break through. Chosen one. The resistance you're facing isn't random, it's reaction. Darkness always trembles before it loses ground. The closer you get to destiny, the louder the opposition becomes. That's why things have felt heavier lately. The enemy doesn't fight what isn't a threat. And you, chosen and marked by heaven, are a direct threat to every lie that ever tried to silence truth. You've endured so much, and still, you stand. You've been misunderstood, misjudged, even mistreated. Yet none of it stopped your spirit from believing. Heaven honors that. Your persistence has become your weapon. Every time you refused to quit, you pushed back against darkness without even realizing it. You may not see it, but the warfare around you is shifting. The fire that was meant to consume you has instead refined you. You've grown stronger in places that used to break easily. What once triggered fear now awakens courage. Every storm you've survived has taught you how to dance in the rain without losing your fire. There's a reason this last battle feels personal. It's because it is. The enemy knows he can't take your promise, so he tries to steal your peace. He can't touch what heaven sealed, but he tries to make you doubt what you already know. That's why the thoughts have been louder, the distractions sharper, the weariness deeper. But it all means one thing: the release is near. As the Spirit spoke through the prophet Isaiah in chapter 54, verse 17, "No weapon formed against you shall prosper, and you will refute every tongue that accuses you. This is the heritage of the servants of the Lord." That is your decree. Every word of doubt thrown at you will fall powerless. Every weapon raised against your spirit will fail before it reaches you. You have divine immunity, not because of your perfection, but because of your position. You are covered. You are chosen. You are protected by promise. The truth is, breakthrough always demands a battle. Every promised land has giants, and every giant exists to confirm that you're in the right place. The presence of opposition is not a sign to retreat, it's evidence that you're standing on holy ground. Your faith has become a flame, and fire cannot be hidden. That's why darkness tried to dim it. But what the enemy forgot is that flames grow in pressure. What was meant to suffocate you only fueled your endurance. You've become unstoppable not because life has been easy, but because grace has been steady. This is your final stretch before manifestation. The shaking you feel is not destruction, it's transition. Heaven is breaking chains in the background while your faith holds the line. The very walls that tried to contain you are about to collapse, not from your strength, but from heaven's command. You've been faithful in the unseen, and now heaven rewards in the open. The words once whispered in private will soon echo publicly. You will no longer have to explain yourself. Fruit will do the talking. Every false perception will fade as God displays what He's been building within you. So, when you feel the pressure rise again, don't panic, praise. Don't retreat, remember. This is not punishment, it's preparation. You are in the final moments before revelation unfolds. Heaven wants you to leave a sign of faith tonight. Comment, "I won't fall." Those 3 words are more than a statement, they are a spiritual stand. They declare to heaven and hell alike that your faith will not collapse under pressure. When you write them, let your heart mean it. You are saying, "I may tremble, but I won't break. I may cry, but I won't give up. I will finish what God started in me." The warfare doesn't win when it hurts you. It loses when it fails to stop you. And tonight, it has failed. Your breakthrough isn't coming tomorrow, it has already started. The battle you feel is only the sound of the walls falling. Hold your position. Chosen one, you're moments away from seeing the victory that has been promised all along. When you type, "I won't fall," you are declaring more than strength, you are announcing your alignment with heaven. It's your way of saying, "I am rooted, not shaken, chosen, not defeated." These words rise like a banner over every battle you've survived. They remind your spirit that standing firm is victory itself. Heaven does not measure you by perfection, but by persistence. Each time you refuse to collapse, heaven celebrates your endurance. So write it with conviction, "I won't fall." Let the words echo through the unseen realm, faith standing firm, fire still burning, light unshaken. There is a stillness that follows every storm, the moment after battle, when the air feels heavy but holy. That's where you are now. The warfare has quieted, and in the silence, you sense it, the release. The atmosphere around you carries a peace that doesn't make sense. A calm that doesn't come from circumstances but from completion. What was once tangled inside you is beginning to unwind. You've crossed into the territory of promise. Chosen one. This is the moment heaven promised long ago. You've waited, wrestled, and endured. And now you can feel the shift, subtle but undeniable. The weight is lifting, and joy begins to return to the places that once felt barren. What was closed is opening. What was broken is being rebuilt. The things you prayed for in tears are now coming quietly, as if they've been waiting for your readiness. You are walking into your release season. It doesn't arrive with noise. It flows like a gentle river, washing away what no longer belongs. You'll notice it in small ways. First, a conversation that brings clarity, an opportunity that feels effortless, a peace that stays longer than before. Heaven doesn't rush restoration, it reveals it in rhythm. The Word of God reminds us through the prophet Joel, chapter 2, verse 25, "I will restore to you the years that the locust has eaten." That is not poetic language, it's a divine promise. Everything that seemed wasted, every season that felt stolen, will return multiplied. God never forgets what was lost in your obedience. He gathers every fragment of your waiting and turns it into something radiant. And as this release unfolds, heaven invites you into partnership, not from obligation, but from gratitude. Because when you've tasted restoration, you naturally want to help others find it too. It's like watching someone lost in darkness and knowing you hold a lantern that can guide them home. That's what this space is, a gathering of lights. Every message shared here is a candle flickering against the night. When you like, share, and subscribe, you are not supporting a platform. You are helping the flame reach another soul wandering through their midnight. Each interaction is a ripple in eternity, carrying light further than you can see. You might think a small gesture doesn't matter, but heaven measures differently. A single act of kindness, a moment of generosity, a simple share can become the very spark that reignites faith in someone's fading heart. You never know who will see the light because you decided to let it travel. And if your heart feels moved, even slightly, consider pouring a little oil into this flame freely, quietly, through a voluntary donation, not as payment, not as duty, but as a sacred exchange. Just as a tree gives fruit because it's healthy, giving flows naturally when gratitude fills your soul. Your donation becomes a seed of light. Helping messages like this continue to reach those who are still searching for hope. Think of it this way: every flame needs air. Every garden needs rain. Every mission needs hands that hold it up. You are one of those hands. When you give, you are watering what already nourishes others. You're adding warmth to the fire that once warmed you. It doesn't have to be grand. Heaven sees the heart behind every seed. Even a small drop of oil keeps the lamp burning through the night. And if all you can offer is prayer, that too is a precious gift, the wind that keeps the light dancing. You are part of something much larger than a single moment. Each time you engage, whether by sharing, subscribing, or giving, you extend the reach of hope itself. You become a messenger, a carrier of divine light, moving quietly through the world. And that's not just beautiful, it's holy. The truth is, heaven never forces generosity, it invites it. Real giving is never demanded, it's discovered. It's what happens when your spirit feels seen, healed, and ready to bless in return. It's not about numbers, it's about resonance. The same way rivers overflow when they're full, your giving flows naturally when your heart is touched. Chosen one. This is not about charity, it's about connection. Each gesture, each act, each moment of support weaves you into the tapestry of light that heaven is spreading through this generation. The world grows dim when people hold back their light, but it brightens when even one soul decides to share what they've received. So, let this be your reminder: what you pour into others never leaves you empty. Heaven always refills what is poured from love. Every like, every share, every quiet donation becomes a whisper that says, hope still lives here. Walk in peace tonight, knowing you are part of that flow. You are not just receiving light, you are keeping it alive. And as the night exhales, the flame continues burning steady, reaching further. Every act of kindness becomes another spark carried by the wind. The light you helped sustain tonight will one day guide another heart home, just as it once guided you. Every scar tells a story, and every story holds a lesson heaven never wastes. You've carried wounds that others could not see, silent bruises on your heart, invisible marks from battles fought in solitude. Yet now, as light filters through your spirit, you begin to realize something miraculous. The places that once hurt the most have become the very sources of your strength. You never noticed it at first. You just kept walking, surviving, enduring. But heaven was doing quiet surgery within you. The pain that cut deep was shaping resilience. The silence that felt unbearable was teaching discernment. The losses that broke you were birthing wisdom. And now, when you look back, you can trace the outline of grace in every scar. What you once called weakness has become armor. The tears that once fell in despair have turned into oil, holy oil that now anoints the path before you. The heart that once trembled in fear now carries unshakable compassion. You've been transformed, not by the absence of pain, but by the presence of purpose within it. Wounds are not the evidence of defeat, they are the blueprint of deliverance. Heaven does not remove every battle scar because they testify to survival. Each mark on your soul declares, I lived through what was meant to destroy me. You are the living proof that darkness can wound but never win. The Apostle Paul wrote something that now echoes through your life. In the second letter to the Corinthians, chapter 12, verse 9, he records God's words, My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. You understand it now, not as a comforting phrase, but as truth carved into your bones. Every time you reached the end of your strength, grace began. Every time you collapsed in exhaustion, heaven held you upright. You thought you were breaking, but you were being built from the inside out. Your scars have become sermons. They speak without words. When others look at you and wonder how you're still standing, your very existence answers them grace. You are no longer ashamed of what happened. You see now that survival was never meant to hide, it was meant to shine. The most powerful warriors are not those who never bleed. They are the ones who learned how to heal while still fighting. And you, chosen one, have learned that rare art. You can still feel empathy in the middle of battle, still offer peace while carrying wounds. That is not weakness, that is divine endurance. The enemy wanted your pain to harden you, to make you bitter and distrustful, but instead, it made you merciful. It opened your eyes to the struggles of others. It deepened your compassion, sharpened your discernment, softened your pride. You've become a mirror of mercy, reflecting the love that never left you, even when you thought it had. You once prayed for healing, and now you realize it didn't come the way you expected. Healing didn't erase your scars, it gave them meaning. It didn't make you forget what happened, it helped you forgive. True healing isn't the removal of memory, it's the redemption of it. Every time you revisit your past, you see less of pain and more of purpose. The faces that once haunted you no longer hold power. The memories that once drained you now teach wisdom. The same road that once led to despair now leads to compassion for those still walking it. Your story is no longer a wound, it's a weapon. When you speak, healing moves through your words because they carry lived truth. Your vulnerability has become your authority. You no longer have to pretend you're whole, you are whole. Precisely because you embrace the pieces that were once broken, chosen one. Heaven never needed your perfection, it needed your willingness. The cracks in your heart became channels for divine light. And the more you tried to hide them, the dimmer your light became. But now that you've accepted them, you shine in a way only healed people can steady. Humble, unafraid, your journey has not been wasted. Every sleepless night, every prayer whispered through tears, every moment you thought God was silent, all of it was counted. Heaven collected every drop of pain and turned it into power. What you carry now is not sorrow, it's sanctified strength. Walk forward, knowing this, your wounds are not your shame, they are your witness. They remind you that you were chosen not because you were flawless, but because you were faithful. You held on when others let go. You loved when you had every reason to close your heart. You believed even when your faith was bleeding. The next time you see your scars, don't look away. Trace them with gratitude. Each one is a reminder that grace always wins. You've become a living testimony of restoration, a walking promise that no pain is wasted in the hands of God. Your scars are no longer evidence of brokenness, they are evidence of beauty reborn. There is a sacred moment that comes after healing, the moment of revelation. It's when you finally realize that the pain you endured was not only for your transformation, but also for the awakening of others. The lessons you learned in silence now become the words that will set others free. Heaven begins to pull back the final veil, showing you how every season was carefully woven into divine design. The air feels different now. The spiritual weight you carried for so long begins to lift, replaced by peace that almost feels unreal. You stand in a kind of quiet awe, seeing how God has been orchestrating everything. Even the moments that seemed meaningless were part of the message. What was once confusion has become clarity. What was once sorrow now glows with purpose. Chosen one. Heaven reveals what you are ready to understand, not before. The wisdom that eluded you in the chaos now flows easily. It's as if your spirit has grown fluent in a heavenly language that your heart couldn't comprehend before. You are hearing with new ears and seeing with new eyes. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Jeremiah, chapter 33, verse 3. Call to me, and I will answer you, and show you great and unsearchable things you do not know. This is the promise being fulfilled in your life right now. You called, even when it felt like no one was listening. You reached for heaven through pain and perseverance. And now heaven responds not with thunder, but with revelation. The things once hidden are unfolding before you like petals in morning light. This revelation is not only about the world around you, it's about you. You are beginning to understand the magnitude of what you carry. You are not merely surviving, you are stewarding something holy. The anointing that once felt heavy is now fitting like armor. The same call that frightened you before now feels like destiny. You've waited long enough for answers. Heaven says, it's time to see. The pieces that never made sense are falling into place. People who misunderstood you will look again and realize they were watching a masterpiece in progress. You've been walking through a divine puzzle, and tonight the picture becomes clear. There is a gentle voice inside that says, this was worth it. Every sleepless night, every unanswered question, it all led you here. To this understanding, God was not late. He was building revelation in layers. And now that your heart has matured, He's opening what was once sealed. Chosen one. Revelation is not about sudden knowledge, it's about deep knowing. It's not information, it's transformation. It shifts not only your mind, but your posture. It humbles you while empowering you at the same time. You begin to walk lighter, speak softer, love deeper. You realize that revelation is not about seeing more, it's about seeing rightly. The insight you receive in this season will guide your next steps. Heaven will start confirming things you sensed long ago. You'll meet people who carry pieces of your next assignment. You'll find yourself in conversations that feel divinely timed. Everything will begin to click. Not because life got easier, but because your eyes have adjusted to the light. And, as a prophetic act of agreement, type the number 555 inches, the comments below. Let it be your declaration that you are ready to receive divine revelation. In biblical meaning, 5 symbolizes grace, and 3 5s declare grace upon grace upon grace. By writing it, you are saying, Lord, open my eyes. I am ready to see what you see. This act isn't superstition, it's surrender. It's a way of marking this moment in your spirit. You are not chasing signs, you are responding to confirmation. Heaven reveals what hearts prepare for. And tonight, your heart is ready. Let peace settle over you as you type. Heaven's whisper to you is clear. What was hidden will no longer stay hidden. You have stepped into the hour of revelation. When you type 555, you're not typing a number, you're tracing grace into the air. Each 5 becomes a ripple that moves through the unseen, declaring that your heart is open, your eyes are clear, and your spirit is ready to see what heaven is unveiling. It's your way of saying, I am awake now. Grace upon grace upon grace, 3 waves of divine favor washing over your life. The first brings healing for your past. The second brings strength for your present. And the third releases revelation for your future. Together, they form the rhythm of heaven's mercy, flowing through every corner of your story. So write it boldly, 555. Let it be your mark of readiness, your whispered yes to the divine plan now unfolding. Heaven doesn't need volume to move, it responds to sincerity. And the moment your fingers form those numbers, the atmosphere shifts, the door of understanding opens wider, and light floods the places that were once shadowed in silence. There is a weight to being chosen that few truly understand. To carry divine purpose is to live in constant tension between heaven's calling and earth's reality. You've felt it, the pull between stillness and action, silence and speaking, hiding and revealing. It is not confusion, it is consecration. Heaven has set you apart. And sometimes separation feels like solitude. Chosen one. The mantle you carry is not light because the assignment is not ordinary. Every chosen soul is both a vessel and a battlefield, an instrument through which heaven moves and a target for what opposes it. But even in the struggle, there is glory. You were never meant to walk an easy road. you were meant to walk a holy one. You've been learning that calling does not always look like success. Sometimes it looks like surrender. It looks like waiting when others rush ahead. It looks like forgiving when it would be easier to fight back. You've discovered that obedience is not always glamorous, but it is always powerful. Every yes you've whispered in faith has built something eternal. Even the quiet ones, the moments when you obeyed without understanding, the nights when you prayed without answers, heaven heard them all. Each act of obedience becomes a stone in the foundation of your destiny. The Word of God reminds us in the first book of Samuel, chapter 16, verse 7, "The Lord does not look at the things people look at. People look at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart." You see, heaven chose you not because of perfection, but because of authenticity. God saw your heart when others saw only your mistakes. He saw the purity of your intent when all you could see were the fragments of your failure. He knew that within your struggle was sincerity, and within your weakness was willingness. You have been entrusted with a mantle, a spiritual authority that carries both responsibility and revelation. It's not a title, not a position, but a divine imprint that rests upon your spirit. It changes the atmosphere when you walk into a room. It carries peace into chaos and conviction into complacency. That is why your presence unsettles darkness. It recognizes the authority you carry. This mantle did not come cheaply. It was forged in fire, tested in loneliness, and confirmed through endurance. The seasons that stripped you bare were never meant to destroy you. They were meant to clothe you in power. Each trial stitched another thread into the garment of your calling. Now, heaven begins to activate what was placed within you long ago. You are stepping into a new phase of purpose, one where your obedience will open doors that strength never could. The mantle you wear carries both weight and wonder, but it fits perfectly because it was made for you alone. You may still feel unqualified, but heaven smiles at that. Every prophet, every apostle, every vessel that carried fire once felt unworthy too. But calling is never about qualification, it's about surrender. The less you rely on your own ability, the more heaven flows through you unhindered. There will be moments when your mantle feels heavy again, when you question if you can keep carrying it. But remember this, you are not carrying the call alone, the call is carrying you. The same hand that placed it upon your life will sustain you through it. Your voice will begin to shift atmospheres, not because of eloquence, but because of anointing. Your prayers will pierce deeper. Your discernment will sharpen. Your presence will bring peace where fear once ruled. The mantle does not make you superior, it makes you surrendered. It doesn't lift you above others, it anchors you deeper in service. Chosen one, heaven has been watching your preparation quietly. And now the time of manifestation approaches. You will no longer wonder if you are called, you will know it with unshakable certainty. Signs will follow your obedience, not because you seek them, but because heaven confirms what it commissions. You have been hidden, refined, and now revealed. The mantle rests not only upon your shoulders but within your soul. It burns like holy fire and glows with purpose. You are the living reminder that being chosen is not about status, it's about stewardship. Walk carefully, but confidently. You are clothed in divine authority. The same Spirit that called your name in the wilderness now walks beside you into fulfillment. The mantle is not a burden, it's a bond between you and heaven. A sacred agreement sealed by endurance, faith, and fire. And as you continue forward, Know this. The world will recognize what heaven already affirmed. The weight you carry is not to crush you, it's to crown you. The crown that rests upon you was not given by men, it was forged by endurance and sealed by grace. Every trial was a hammer shaping your divine authority. Now walk as one who knows heaven has already approved you. Your steps are sanctified. Your voice carries weight. And your very presence declares the mantle has found its bearer. There are moments when heaven moves so quietly that you almost miss the miracle. At first, you only sense a change in the air, a stillness where there used to be resistance, a lightness in places that once felt heavy. It's the feeling of divine reversal beginning to unfold. The tide has turned, not by your power, but by divine decree. Chosen one. Heaven is rewriting what was once written in pain. What the enemy meant to destroy you with has become the very tool of your deliverance. The same situations that brought you to your knees are now lifting you to higher ground. You are living in the chapter where everything starts to make sense, where the story that once seemed broken begins to reveal its beauty. This is heaven's reversal, the moment when the hand of God reaches into what seemed irreversible and turns it completely around. You have entered the sacred space where sorrow transforms into strength, loss into wisdom, and delay into divine timing. Nothing was wasted. Every setback has become a seed. The voice of God thundered in the book of Genesis, chapter 50, verse 20. You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives. Those words echo through eternity, reminding you that redemption is not a concept, it's a pattern. Heaven has always worked this way. Every attack that came against you was unknowingly pushing you closer to alignment. Every closed door was rerouting you to divine purpose. Every betrayal was pruning your circle for purity. You weren't being reduced, you were being refined. Reversal rarely feels like a miracle while it's happening. It feels like breaking, collapsing, ending. But heaven hides transformation inside endings. Just as a seed must break before it grows, so must you. What looked like loss was actually the pressure needed for expansion. What felt like collapse was the cracking open of potential. Now, as heaven's hand moves through your life, you can sense the restoration quietly taking form. Things that were scattered are being gathered. Relationships that ended in confusion are finding closure. Resources you thought were gone forever are returning multiplied. The season of reversal is one of divine correction, not punishment, but alignment. Heaven is returning balance to what injustice disrupted. You may not see it all at once, but you'll feel it. The peace that once felt distant now rests near. Doors that refused to open suddenly respond to your knock. Opportunities that seemed beyond your reach begin to find you. This is what divine reversal feels like: effortless where there used to be strain, open where there used to be locked gates. Chosen one. This reversal does not mean you will forget the pain, it means the pain will no longer define you. Memory will remain, but its power to wound will fade. You'll speak about your past not with bitterness, but with authority. You'll tell your story not as a victim, but as a victor. Heaven has already begun rewriting your narrative in ways unseen. What was meant to break your spirit has become the reason it stands taller. What was meant to silence your voice has made it stronger. The wounds that once represented weakness now radiate wisdom. This is the beauty of reversal. It does not erase your history, it redeems it. God does not replace your past, He transforms it into a foundation for your future. You will walk into rooms once filled with fear and feel peace instead. You will revisit memories that once haunted you and find gratitude instead. Even the timelines that seemed wasted are being restored. Heaven redeems time itself. The years you thought were lost to struggle are being condensed into moments of accelerated growth. You will accomplish in months what once took years. That's what happens when divine reversal enters your story. It speeds what once stalled, heals what once hindered, rebuilds what once broke. The proof of reversal is not always external, it's internal. You'll notice it when you respond differently, when peace replaces panic, when faith becomes your instinct instead of fear. You've changed. And because you've changed, the world around you must change too. Chosen one, do not mourn what's gone. It had to leave to make room for what's coming. Heaven does not restore things to their former state. It restores them to their intended purpose, stronger, purer, divine. The same spirit that hovered over chaos in Genesis now hovers over your life, reshaping what was once formless into something filled with glory. What you thought was your ending was merely the setup for heaven's reversal, a masterpiece born from the fragments of your faith. Walk in it with quiet confidence. The wind that once pushed against you now carries you forward. The tide has turned in your favor, and grace has rewritten the ending. You no longer stand where you fell, you stand where you rose. Every shattered piece has found its place in heaven's design. The reversal is complete, and the story now breathes redemption. There comes a point in the chosen journey when the waiting ends, not because the struggle disappears, but because you finally understand its purpose. You've learned that faith isn't about escaping storms, it's about carrying peace within them. And now, that peace surrounds you like sunlight after rain, soft, steady, certain. You're no longer just surviving, you're stepping into your divine commission. Chosen one, heaven has watched you grow quietly in the shadows. Every act of faith, every unseen prayer, every tear that watered the soil of your calling, it all led to this moment. You have been entrusted with something sacred. The same spirit that strengthened prophets and guided kings now whispers through your life, calling you to walk boldly in your purpose. You are no longer hidden. The season of silence is over. The message that's been forming in your soul must now be spoken, not with noise, but with authenticity. The world doesn't need more voices, it needs more vessels. And you, chosen by grace, are one of them. Your commission is not complicated, it's simple and sacred. Carry light wherever darkness tries to reign. Bring peace where confusion once ruled. Speak truth where lies have settled. That is how the kingdom moves, one heart awakened, one word spoken in love, one act of obedience at a time, as Jesus himself declared in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 16. Let your light so shine before men, that they may see your good works and glorify your Father in heaven. Your light doesn't need to shout, it simply needs to shine. It shines in your kindness, your patience, your endurance, your compassion. Every good deed becomes a spark. Every word of encouragement becomes a flame. You are not merely carrying light, you are the light, because the source of light dwells within you. But even the brightest flame needs tending. It needs air to breathe and oil to burn. In this journey, that oil comes from connection, from community, from unity, from shared purpose. When you like, share, or subscribe. You are not engaging with content, you are passing the flame. You're helping the light find the next soul waiting in darkness. Sometimes, that soul is just one click away, someone who needs to hear the same words that once found you. Your simple act of sharing becomes a silent rescue mission. Your comment becomes a candle lit in another heart. And when you give, if your spirit ever feels led to, your generosity becomes oil poured into the lamp, ensuring the flame never fades. Think of this moment like a river. It doesn't hoard what it carries, it flows freely, blessing every shore it touches. That's how the kingdom operates. When you support what nourishes your soul through a word, a gesture, or a small act of giving, you're letting the river of light keep flowing. It's never about requirement, it's about resonance. The river gives because it's full. Your like, your share, your prayer, they are ripples. Together, they create waves of hope that travel far beyond what eyes can see. Someone, somewhere, will breathe easier because your light reached them. That's not performance, it's purpose. And if your heart ever whispers to give, let it be gentle, not forced. Think of it as placing one more piece of wood on a campfire that's warming others through the night. You're not obligated, you're invited. Heaven never compels generosity, it celebrates it. And if something in this message speaks deeply to you, leave a few words in the comments below, your own spark, your reflection, your prayer. Sometimes a single sentence written from the heart becomes a lantern for someone else's night. Your comment is not just text, it's testimony. It tells heaven, I heard, I received, I remember. Chosen one. This isn't about transactions, it's about transformation. What you pour into others will always find its way back to you. Pressed down, shaken together, running over. Light never leaves you. When you give it, it multiplies. So let your light move tonight. Let it travel. Like the wind carries seeds unseen. Your acts of kindness, your engagement, your support, each one plants hope somewhere else. You're not maintaining a platform, you're building an altar where weary souls can rest. The divine commission is simple: carry the fire forward. Let it glow through your life, through your words, through your compassion. And as you do, heaven smiles. Because when you shine, others remember where the light comes from. You've answered the call by standing here. Every moment you engage with this message, every time you allow it to move through you, you are fulfilling part of your purpose. Keep walking, keep glowing, keep giving light its wings. And as you do, heaven will keep breathing wind into your flame, ensuring it never burns out, only burns brighter. The light you carry is eternal. It doesn't fade with seasons or storms. Each act of faith you make adds another star to someone's night sky. Keep that flame alive. The world needs your glow, your voice, your quiet courage. Heaven watches, smiling, as you choose light again and again. There is a sacred stillness that follows divine fulfillment, the moment when the storm has passed, and the air feels washed clean. You can almost hear the sound of heaven exhaling through creation. It's not loud, not dramatic, but unmistakably peaceful. You feel it in your chest, like a heartbeat finally finding rhythm after years of running uneven. Heaven has finished something in you, and what remains is pure strength wrapped in serenity. You look back, and everything feels different now. The pain that once seemed endless has softened into memory. The people who once hurt you have become part of the lesson. The places where you stumbled now look like milestones. It's as though the hand of God has taken your entire story, every detour, every disappointment, and folded it neatly into purpose. Nothing wasted, nothing lost. Chosen one. This is what divine maturity feels like. You've outgrown the need for constant signs and sudden answers. You no longer panic in the silence because you've learned that silence is where the roots of wisdom grow. You've stopped asking for quick miracles, not because you've lost faith, but because you've gained understanding. You know now that timing is a language, and heaven speaks fluently in patience. There's a quiet glory in knowing you can trust what you can't yet see. That kind of trust doesn't come easily. It's earned through the ache of waiting, the weight of endurance, the tenderness of surrender. It's the kind of faith that has nothing left to prove. You no longer pray from desperation, you pray from alignment. You no longer chase blessings, you carry them. The word of the Lord comes again, this time through the writings in the book of James. Chapter 1, verse 4. Let perseverance finish its work, so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything. That verse now feels like your reflection. Perseverance has done its work in you. It has taught you what sermons could not. It refined you in ways comfort never could. You are no longer shaped by fear or the opinions of others. You are sculpted by grace. You've been in the fire, but you didn't burn, you became luminous. This is the stage of faith where gratitude flows effortlessly. You no longer thank God only for blessings, you thank Him for lessons. You thank Him for the nights that stretched you, for the tears that baptized your endurance. You understand that every trial was heaven's way of expanding your capacity for joy. Peace no longer depends on what happens around you. It lives inside you now. The world can shift. People can come and go. Plans can change, but your peace remains untouched. That's what happens when your identity roots itself in eternity instead of emotion. You are anchored now, not drifting. You've reached a spiritual steadiness that few find, a balance between humility and authority, between gentleness and power. You no longer need to explain yourself. Your presence explains enough. The light within you speaks a language that silence understands. Chosen one. This is not the end of your story. It's the calm between chapters. Heaven has crowned you with wisdom, not just for your sake, but for those who will one day follow your footsteps. You've become a torchbearer, carrying the same fire that once frightened you. You've learned that crowns aren't handed out in comfort, they're forged in endurance. You'll notice that the world reacts differently to you now. The same situations that once stirred chaos can no longer shake you. The same words that once wounded now pass harmlessly through your peace. That's because authority has settled upon you. It's invisible but undeniable. You carry heaven's confidence quietly, like a melody that never fades. Everything about you now moves with purpose. Even your pauses are prophetic. You know when to speak and when to stay silent. You know that sometimes the greatest act of faith is not movement, but rest. The battles you once fought outwardly have now become inner victories. You win now by remaining still. There's beauty in this kind of maturity. It's gentle but powerful, calm but unbreakable. You no longer chase what isn't meant for you. You've learned that real abundance is not found in having more, but in needing less. Chosen one. You've entered the season of crowns, not of gold, but of grace. This crown doesn't glitter. It glows. It's woven from every moment you chose faith over fear, surrender over control, endurance over escape. Heaven has seen it all, and now it rests upon your life. You wear it not as a symbol of superiority, but as a reminder of survival. You wear it not to boast, but to bless. The crown upon your head is invisible to most, but heaven sees it shining. So walk forward with quiet dignity. You've completed what once felt impossible. You've endured what should have broken you. And in doing so, you've become proof that grace is not fragile, it's fierce. The journey that began in uncertainty now ends in peace. And in that peace, you finally understand every moment had meaning. Every waiting hour was worship. Every pain was prophecy. And now, the crown awaits not as a reward, but as recognition. And now, the circle closes. The path that began in uncertainty now shines with clarity. You've walked through valleys, crossed deserts, and stood on mountaintops, and through it all, heaven has been weaving something extraordinary. You may not have seen it at the time, but every step, every silence, every tear has been part of a divine choreography. You are no longer in the season of asking why. You are in the season of understanding how. The revelation is complete, not because you now know everything, but because you have learned to trust the one who does. That is the essence of divine maturity, when knowing God becomes more important than knowing answers. You've discovered that faith is not a destination, but a rhythm, a heartbeat that keeps pace with eternity. You are walking in that rhythm now, steady and sure, chosen one. Heaven is smiling over your journey. The storms that once terrified you became the wind that carried you forward. The darkness that once confused you became the canvas where light was painted brightest. The seasons that once felt endless have now merged into a single truth. Everything has been grace. There's a peace that comes with completion. It's not loud or triumphant, it's quiet, weighty, holy. You can feel it even now, resting on your spirit like a gentle mantle. The same God who began this good work in you has brought it to fulfillment. What was once hidden has been revealed. What was once broken has been made whole. As was spoken through the Apostle Paul in the book of Philippians, chapter 1, verse 6, "He who began a good work in you will carry it on to completion until the day of Christ Jesus." You are living proof of that promise. Heaven has not only finished a chapter in your story, it has written a new beginning. The waiting that once drained you has transformed into wisdom. The longing that once ached inside you has become a wellspring of peace. You no longer chase the future anxiously. You walk toward it gracefully. You've learned that destiny is not about doing more, but becoming more. It's not about climbing higher, but going deeper into love, into faith, into surrender. You no longer measure success by what you can touch, but by what you can feel in your spirit. You are aligned now, harmonized with heaven's timing. Look around you. The same world that once felt hostile now feels softer. The people who once misunderstood you no longer hold power over your peace. The noise that once demanded your attention now fades into the background. You live differently now, not as one searching, but as one who has found, chosen one. This is the unveiling heaven promised from the beginning, the revelation you waited to hear. The understanding you longed to receive, it is all here, quietly resting in your spirit. You don't need signs anymore because you have become one. You are the fulfilled prophecy, the living word of endurance, the embodiment of grace refined through fire. Everything that was withheld now makes sense. Heaven didn't deny you, it developed you. You weren't delayed, you were being deepened. The space between promise and fulfillment became the sacred workshop where God rebuilt your foundation. And now, you stand steady, unmoved, unshaken, unafraid. You walk in authority now. But it's not loud. It's the kind of strength that doesn't need to prove itself. It's the quiet confidence that comes from knowing heaven moves with you. You've become a vessel of peace, a carrier of divine stillness. When others look into your eyes, they will see the reflection of the one who called you. Your story is not over, it's expanding. The seeds you've planted in faith will continue to bloom in others long after this moment passes. You've become both student and teacher, receiver and giver. The revelation that began with you will multiply through you, touching lives you may never meet. That is the legacy of the chosen. Their obedience becomes the bridge for another's awakening. This is your moment of exhale. Heaven's silence is no longer intimidating, it's comforting. You know that even when you hear nothing, God is still speaking in the quiet language of alignment. You no longer fear the waiting you've learned to worship within it. Chosen one, lift your gaze. The horizon is no longer distant, it's radiant. You have reached the place where destiny and peace walk hand in hand. The message you've been waiting to hear all along has been written into your life itself. You were never forgotten, you were being formed. Now the revelation is complete. Heaven's purpose in your pain, its wisdom in your waiting, its beauty in your breaking, all of it converges into this single truth. You were chosen not just to endure, but to embody the light of divine love. And in that light, you finally understand you were never walking alone. The journey ends where it began, in the heart of God. Every step has led you home. And now, peace, pure and eternal, becomes the language your soul speaks forever. Chosen one, if these words have touched you, let them live beyond this moment. The message was never meant to stay within one heart, it was meant to ripple outward like light across still water. You've carried it now, you've felt its fire, and as it rests in you, it begins to call others home too. When you like, share, or subscribe, you're not simply supporting a message, you're extending its reach, allowing the same light that found you to find someone else who's searching in silence. Somewhere out there, another soul is scrolling through darkness, waiting for a reminder that they are not forgotten. You can be that bridge. And if your heart feels moved to speak, leave your words in the comments, a reflection, a prayer, a whisper of gratitude. Your voice matters more than you know. It might be the echo that wakes another heart, the spark that lights another flame. And if you ever feel led to give, to offer a drop of oil to keep this light burning, know that every seed you sow becomes a flame that keeps someone else warm in their midnight hour. Giving isn't about obligation, it's about overflow. It's what happens when gratitude becomes movement, when light refuses to stop shining. Chosen one, you've walked through revelation and risen into clarity. The story that began with uncertainty ends in peace, but peace that continues to move through you. So let this message live in your hands. Share it. Speak it. Pass it forward. Let others hear what heaven whispered to you. You were chosen, and you still are. The light will keep traveling as long as hearts like yours keep it alive. And tonight, Heaven smiles because you did not just receive the message, you became it.